Hi, it's Fatu with Good to Know. Before you do anything, make sure you subscribe to my podcast, or if you're on Spotify, follow it, or if you're on Podbean, follow it. But either way, subscribe, listen, comment, whatever, but please just enjoy it. So, anywho, today we're going to be talking about DNA testing kits. Ancestry DNA, 23andMe, you guys know the ones I'm talking about. I was actually at Target yesterday and I saw them in like multiple different spots in the store, and it's just so weird to me because now like taking a DNA test and gifting somebody a DNA kit is totally normal. And so now I know you're thinking, okay, what is she going on about today? What is so bad about wanting to know your ancestry? And to preface it, I want to say nothing is wrong with that. I think it's a totally fair question, and it's only natural to want to know who you are and where you came from. So what's the beef? One word: privacy. So ancestry kits sound so harmless when you think about it, but if you break it down and actually critically think about it, you have to realize that these companies are trying to make money, and they're not all as altruistic as you want to believe. And these companies make money by selling and by what am I saying? These companies make money by selling products, and the kits you buy aren't the only product being sold. Your DNA is too. An Irish doctor named Dr. Carlin Lillington tweeted that DNA companies offer you cheap DNA analysis not only because they want to help you find your ancestors and living relatives, or your precise ethnicity, or your possible risk for developing medical conditions, but for the same reasons Google offers you free searches or Facebook offers you a free social media universe. Once you opt into sharing your data, you are the product. And companies like 23andMe acknowledge that the data is shared or sold with third parties to use for research. And actually, not too long ago, 23andMe teamed up with GSK, GlaxoSmithKline, a huge pharmaceutical company, to share DNA information for customers. And to preface this, you can opt in or out of this, but in 23andMe's privacy policy, they state that they can change the privacy policy at any time. So just keep that in mind. And a federal law, the Genetic Information Non-Discrimination Act, keeps health insurers and employers from obtaining a person's genetic test results or making any decisions based on these results. But that law doesn't apply to life insurance or long-term care insurance, so your results to one of these test kits can hinder your ability to get certain types of insurance. And speaking of GSK, I know I kind of bounced from topic to topic, but speaking of GSK, they're using the DNA to develop new drugs. GSK invested $300 million in 23andMe. $300 million! That's nothing to sneeze at. And, it's one thing for people to willingly donate their DNA for medical research, but when there's two for-profit companies that come together and the thing that's bringing them together is millions of people's DNA, that's a little scary. An NBC News reported that more than 60% of Americans who have some European ancestry can be identified using the DNA database, even if they haven't submitted their own DNA. This is because enough people have done some kind of these DNA tests to make it a possible match to much of the population. That's how they found the Golden State Killer, because one of his distant cousins had used one of the DNA test kits, and his DNA proved that he was related to his cousin, which led to the arrest. And so I'm sure some people listening to this now might be thinking, oh my god, I've done a DNA test before. And if you have, it's not the end of the world. And plus, these tests aren't even 100% accurate all the time. Dr. Jim Mumper, a chief medical officer at Partner MD in Salt Lake City, said that there are some studies that suggest that error rates on direct-to-consumer testing may be as high as 40%. 40%! And Dr. Mumper warns that many of these tests don't look at all of your DNA and instead only analyze a small section of genes. He also says that this could produce misleading results. And, quote, he said, there have been many instances There have been instances of patients who have undertaken medical procedures based on false positive results, said Dr. Mumper. So I don't know, but that is also something to think about too. So part of it's like you're selling your information unknowingly, and the other part is the information might not even be right, and we're making all these decisions and coming with all these ideas based on these results that we don't even know to be 100% accurate. And you know what? If you're thinking of getting someone in your life a DNA kit as a gift, unless they've said they wanted one, don't get it. Nobody wants to find out they have a higher risk of diabetes and hypertension as a gift, especially if it might not even be true. Just get them a gift card. So with all of this in mind, all I can suggest is that you be skeptical. Be super skeptical. Research these companies and please read the fine print because you don't know what you're saying yes to. And if you don't read the fine print, then you can't complain because you just checked the box and said yes. So make sure you read the terms and conditions and you read the fine print of these kits that you're buying. If you still go through and you still want to go ahead and test it, hey, there's no fault in that. If you want to know, you want to know. But again, just be cautious. And I think privacy is so important and we should all be protecting it. I know some people like to think that if you don't have anything to hide, then you should hold on to your privacy so hard. But to that, let's say a stranger asks me what color my underwear is. I have nothing to hide about the color of my underwear, but the fact is, it's just not your business. And that is why we should cherish our privacy. So thanks for listening to me today, and as always, in the description of this episode, I'm going to have all my sources so you can check the links and read those articles for yourself. I'm signing off. Bye!